Following the burning of King's Landing in Season 8, Episode 5, it appears that Daenerys Targaryen has truly gone mad. And while Season 8 as a whole has largely been a mess when it comes to honoring character arcs and preventing plot holes, the events which took place this episode brings about intriguing thoughts and leads the audience to consider the forces of good versus evil. That is to say, after following a relatively linear storyline for 7 seasons of the Targaryens and Starks being branded as the good guys, or at least the lesser of many evils in the 7 kingdoms, Daenerys' actions flips that logic on its head. The greatest turning point of not only the episode, but quite possibly the entire character arc of Daenerys was seen in her final decision to burn them all, even after the surrender bells went off in the city. Betrayed by Varys, failed by Tyrion, heartbroken by Jon, and losing Jorah, Missandei, and Rhaegal, Daenerys is now a changed woman. And in that very moment, where she elects to burn the city to the ground, her very perception to the audience does too. No longer is she the breaker of chains or the liberator of slaves, but rather the creator of chains and fear and tyranny, at least symbolically. In these moments, she can no longer be seen as an anti-authoritarian freedom fighter. Instead, she is an imperialist oppressor, burning thousands of innocents alive. As the ground forces begin to attack the defenseless Lannister forces, Jon Snow gains a realization deep inside that he is, in fact, on the side of evil. This is also a revelation which Arya gains later in the episode, in part to the Hound, and really proves that this so-called victory for the quote-unquote good guys is bittersweet at best. The Stark Targaryen victory over the Lannisters, which people have waited years to see, just does not carry a positive weight to it. And when we see Jon walk away from the city and Arya ride away on a horse to close the episode, it becomes clear that George R.R. Martin was indeed right in stating that thrones will have an ending much like Lord of the Rings. Jon and Arya may be victorious, but are left deeply scarred and changed much like Frodo. A major theme in the show finale next week should be in drawing the lines between good and evil. Are the Starks evil for even being complicit in the bloodbath? How much responsibility rests on Tyrion for not following Varys and overthrowing Daenerys when they had the chance? Regardless of how things end, Game of Thrones has truly made everyone question who the quote-unquote good guys are throughout the entirety of the show. And while the past few seasons have fallen short in bringing the same level of depth and complexity as earlier editions, it is no question that they did this well, and that is that nobody is completely good, nobody is completely evil, and whether or not the ends justify the means, well, it may be safe to say that there will be no end to the bloodshed so long as these violent means are continued.